Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mike's Garage. Listen, I want to thank everybody for the comments I'm getting. I really do appreciate you watching. Got a few more stories I want to tell, and I got a couple emails too about other stories that other people want to tell. I do appreciate that. I'm going to respond to them. We're going to see how we're going to handle that. But if you do have something you want to share, send me an email. I put an email up on some other videos that I put out, or send me a comment that you'd like to send me something, and I will send you back my email address, and we'll get that done. What I wanted to tell you is down in Georgia, and I try to focus these on the good times. I mean, because there was a lot of bad times, a lot of people depressed and everything. You're drafted, you're far away from home, and there's nothing going on. And it gets kind of lonely too, even though you're with a bunch of guys, you get kind of lonely, missing family and friends and girlfriends and things like that. But so you try to make the best of it. You try to have some fun, okay? Down in Georgia, one thing that there was plenty of were peanuts. You could buy peanuts raw. And if you never saw peanuts raw, it's if you ever saw raw peanuts, kind of like chickpeas. And a lot of people would take the peanuts out of the shell and boil them, and that's how they made peanut butter. Okay. And the other way that I was used to having peanuts, well, you had peanut butter, but when you got the raw peanuts, you had to roast them. So we didn't really have any place to roast them. So what we did is down in the garage where we worked at the 818th Engineers in Fort Benning, the garage was huge. I mean, we had 10 bays, and each bay would hold a full-size dump truck. And you could put the back up on the dump truck to change the hydraulic cylinders and everything like that. So the place was huge. And in the wintertime, it was always like 30 or 40 degrees in the morning, and that was cold for there. Okay? The heat was a giant old coal furnace, and it was gravity feed. Okay? So you would put the coal in, get the fire going, and then the ductwork would go up on an angle out of the heater out into the garage, and then the cold air would find its way back across the floor and into the bottom of the furnace. And that was all without a fan. It didn't have a fan. So the big thing in the morning was to get down there and get the fire going. So a couple of guys would go down before breakfast. Okay, so they're down there like 6 o'clock in the morning. We would have everything all set up. You throw a bunch of wood scraps and papers and everything into the bottom and put a couple shovels full of coal in there, and you light the paper and you go to breakfast. So you go up to the mess hall, you have some breakfast and everything. You have roll call, they give out the mail, give you the announcements for the day, and then we all go to work. Back down to the garage we go. It would be warm by then. Okay, would start to be getting warm in the garage. It was huge. So one of the days the lieutenants came, and he bought a 25-pound bag of peanuts, raw peanuts. So we were going to figure out how to roast them. So we had that big, huge opening on the coal furnace. I mean, the coal furnace was huge. It had to be 10 feet across and probably 6 feet deep. And it had a big, huge tray where you could put the coal, and we had a large coal bin, and you had to put shovels full of coal in there. Now, at that time, most of us knew how to do that. Now, I had a coal heater in my house in the Philadelphia area until I was about 10 years old, and I knew how to start a coal fire, put a shovel full of coal in before you went to work, because your dad had already left an hour before you went to school, and as soon as you got home from school in the middle of the afternoon, you went down, you shook the ashes out, and threw another shovel full of coal on there to keep the fire going, because you couldn't let the fire go out. It was such a pain in the neck to get it started again. So anyway, I'm sorry, I digress. I keep going off on all these other thoughts as they enter my mind. Anyway, we had to find a way to roast the peanuts. So we found an old lid to a galvanized trash can. It's a big, huge, round lid. Had to be 3 feet across, to one of the big old trash cans from behind the mess hall. So we got that, and we got about a 4-foot piece of exhaust pipe from one of the other trucks that was no good. We were going to get rid of it. We got a 4-foot piece of exhaust pipe. It was pretty straight. Okay, we cut it, and we made a handle onto the trash can lid. Now, if you ever saw one of the big pizza spoons that you put in to get the pizza out, it kind of looked like that, but it had that edge around it because it was a trash can lid. So it was up. Now, what we did is we took the peanuts and we put them all in there in a single layer, and you stick that all the way in on top of the coal. You leave it in there for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, take it halfway out, shake it, move all the peanuts around, put it back in. It took maybe 10, 12 minutes to roast the peanuts. And man, were they good. If you never had hot roasted peanuts, they were really good. So in the middle of the day, we'd be eating peanuts and hanging out, looking for stuff to do. If we had some things to take care of, we would take care of it. If somebody had trouble with a vehicle, we would have the vehicles on a rotating schedule to come in and do preventive maintenance. So those are the kind of things that kept us busy. But just the fun things, just to go get 25 pounds of peanuts, and I think it was $2 for a 25-pound bag of raw peanuts. And we found a way to roast them, have a good time with them, and that was one of the fun things we did to pass the time. And the peanuts were really good, hot roasted peanuts. If you never tried it, you should. Hope you enjoyed the story. Keep the comments coming. I could use more subscribers. And send me an email. If you have a story that you want me to tell here, send me your comment and request the email address. I'll send you that if you didn't see it on a previous video. I'd like to hear from you. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching Mike's Garage.